All right, I'm Stuart.
I'm Lisa. Welcome to our page. We have a lot to talk about. It's been almost a month since we last recorded at the Rusty's Ridgeline.
We were at Rusty's Ridgeline in Westcliffe, Colorado. We are now in Starbuck, Washington, at a KOA called Starbuck / Lyons Ferry, which is in eastern Washington. And we leave tomorrow for Quincy, Thousand Trails campsite in Quincy. But we've done quite a lot since we last gave you some information. So when we left Rusty's Ridgeline, that was a Harvest Host. Lisa was driving the car because the dolly was bust and we needed new parts for it. So
anyway,
where we went.
Yeah, so we headed into Colorado, and I was following Stuart, and we had to go over the Monarch Pass, which is 11,000 square feet, or not square feet, I'm sorry, feet.
11,400 feet elevation.
Feet elevation, and I'm following Stuart, and everything went fine. We got to...
except the yellow engine light.
Yeah.
Got a yellow engine light on the way up Monarch Pass.
Yeah, and I researched it on the, researching what it could be, and they said high elevation, when you have a diesel pusher, if you're in high elevation, it needs oxygen to function. So we weren't really concerned about it. It was a yellow light, but you didn't have a lot of power in the rig.
No.
Kind
of gutless.
It was kind of gutless.
But anyway, we go over the pass. We had lunch there. It was very nice, and then we got to Thousand Trails, Gunnison.
Well, let's talk about the funny thing that happened when we were driving down the pass to go to Gunnison. I'm following Stuart, in the rig, and I could see that there's a rig in front of Stuart, and it had its flashing lights on. And there was a car behind it. They had their flashing lights.
Then me.
And they were down to a crawl.
They were doing 25 miles an hour downhill from the Monarch Pass.
And they weren't pulling over to let people pass. So I kind of looked back, and it was like miles
a mile
of cars.
A mile long line of cars.
So I had people like trying to pass me and then passing Stuart, and sometimes they would pass Stuart. And, so we had walkie-talkies. And I see this truck coming on
18-wheeler.
18-wheeler on my right side. And I said, Stuart, there's a truck coming up. On this shoulder. Well, it wasn't that wide.
You said he's passing you on the right, and I'm thinking she meant the left, which would be the overtake lane. So I'm looking left, don't see anything. Look right, and then I see this giant frickin' truck on the shoulder, barraging past me.
Yeah, it was scary. And so tell him what you saw.
We think that he thought that I was the one holding everybody up.
Yeah, because our rig was taller than the rig in front of Stuart.
He couldn't see the rig in front.
So nobody could see the rig in front. So they're thinking it was Stuart that was holding up all this traffic. So I think he thought that he can pass you, but what happened?
Well, he did pass me, but the shoulder was going away. So he obviously got past me and then realized, oh shit, there's another rig in front of him. He's going even faster, and he just managed to cut in to the left before the shoulder ended. So he got past this rig. There's no way I was going to try and pass it because I didn't have the acceleration. This is a single lane road, by the way. It's one lane each way with sometimes a passing lane. And then, so this went on for probably about an hour.
Yeah. And I was frustrated because I was on the walkie-talkie. I said, Stuart, why isn't that person pulling over? Even if he would have pulled over on the shoulder, it would have allowed people to come by. Well, all of a sudden you see the cops.
Colorado State Patrol came by.
Yeah, somebody must have called them in.
I think he thought initially that I was the one holding everything up. So he came past me, saw that this rickety, clunking heap of scrap that was in front of us, pulled them over, and then we got going.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was about an hour. There was like a mile long, we just lost a plate, a mile long line of cars behind this guy, and they had lots of opportunity to pull over, but they didn't.
So anyway, once that was over, we got to Gunnison, and it was 1,000 trails, and it was beautiful.
Altitude at Gunnison? 7,000?
It was 7,000 Gunnison, and so we did have a little altitude sickness. I mean, a little shortness of breath.
Like a wine, probably.
But anyway, it was so beautiful there. Stuart and I are like, oh my gosh, why didn't we stay another 2 weeks? You know, because 1,000 trails you could stay up to 3 weeks.
And by the way, we know we're sloping here.
I know.
I'm higher than her, and we're kind of sloping. So we stayed at Gunnison for 7 days because we didn't know how beautiful it was going to be. So instead of staying 21 days at the 1,000 trails, we stayed 7.
And you know, the weather was perfect. It was like in the 80s during the day, but it was cool enough at night where you didn't have to put the AC on at night. And so what did we do in Gunnison?
We went to the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park, which was fantastic. We did some hiking there, took some photographs there, which I'm going to add to the video. And I did fly fishing. I caught a beautiful rainbow trout. I caught three or four fish. But I caught one decent sized rainbow, but I released them all.
Yeah, we did a lot of hiking.
A lot of hiking, a lot of walking, beautiful area.
So the Pine Creek,
crystal clear rivers.
Yeah, so we went to this river, and it was teeming with trout. Stuart says trout. How do you say it?
Trout.
Trout. In Scottish, you say trout. And it was just teeming. And we're on this hike, and it was down this canyon. And we're walking along this beautiful river, and Stuart's like, I got to get my fishing pole. I said, okay. So we had to walk way up, you know.
Quite a steep climb.
A steep climb.
And I'm carrying 60 extra pounds.
Yeah, and we got to the car. He got his fishing pole, and we went down, and you caught the most beautiful trout, you know. And I'm like, Stuart, hit it on the head. Let's eat it, you know. But practically, it would have not. We didn't have ice, and we still had to kind of drive home.
I couldn't kill it anyway.
And he couldn't kill it. It was a beauty.
So I had a dry, for those fishermen, I had a dry fly as a floater, basically as an indicator, and I had a nymph on the end of that, and I actually hooked the fish on a nymph and brought it in, and didn't have a landing net or anything, so I had to kind of play it all the way. So it was kind of half dead by the time I got it to the shore. Took the photograph, put it back in the water, let it rescue it, you know, catch its breath. And then off it went, and to fight another day. Anyway, that was great.
Yeah, but you did go back. He wanted to go back.
Oh yeah, I went back.
So you went back on your own.
I went back on my own,
me,
like 4 days later.
Yeah,
it was a different river. They had released water from the dam, which I spoke to a local guide. He goes, yeah, they do it all the time without telling anybody. Completely different river, fast flowing, high. It was like probably 30 feet higher than it was when Lisa and I went. But I did catch another fish.
Yeah.
Like a small rainbow. It was a what we'd call a tiddler in Scotland. But I did catch another one. Surprisingly, let it go. Actually, it came off just as I was bringing it to the shore, so technically I didn't catch it. But anyway, great, but beautiful spot. Gunnison.
The
Blue
town
Mesa
was cute.
For 1,000 trails,
Yeah.
folks. Blue Mesa,
Oh,
1,000
give it
trails.
thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
And
Yeah,
and we did love the town. Was wonderful. We hiked up Pinnacle Ridge. It was a good 2-hour hike, and it was up high elevation, and it was just stunning.
So let's talk about the next part.
Okay, so the next part was you repaired the dolly. You got all the equipment for the dolly.
But because of it, we wanted to go to Rocky Mountain National Park. I had us going back over Monarch Pass. So we did it not once but twice. Second time with the car in tow, and we were doing 25 miles an hour going up. And when we got to the top of the ridge, I had lots of people, you know, giving me the finger.
Oh yeah,
and, you know,
because there, you know, again, it was gutless.
There's not a lot I could do about it.
There was no power in the engine, and people were just frustrated.
I thought they were saying hi. You know, I thought this was hi.
Yes.
But anyway, we go over the ridge, and then we're going to another harvest host. Share
Farms, and oh my gosh, we're tired. We've been traveling like 5 hours. And they didn't put a sign that said Shear Farms, right? And so we passed it. Well, we got stuck in this cul-de-sac, and we literally had to take the car off the dolly. And it was a big hassle. We turn around, we find the farm, and what happened? It had a big gully in front of it. It was like heaps of dirt.
It was a tight entry anyway, but they had like a 1 foot wide ditch, 1 foot wide, 1 foot deep ditch right in front of the drive that he said was caused by rain the night before. So I said to the guy, the host, I said, look, I'm not taking this 40-foot rig over that. You'll probably get stuck in the ditch. So we had to make an emergency plan. We ended up KOA Fort Collins, which was very nice.
It was nice. We had to go another 2 hours to this KOA, and we liked it. It was busy, but we loved the town. Fort Collins, it was the cutest town town and a lot to do. I could have stayed there longer too.
And we'll try and put some photographs
Yeah,
into
and we,
this
we had
video
a date
so you
day.
can see
We
it.
went on a hike there, a 2-hour hike, but you were struggling because of the altitude. And it was beautiful. I don't remember what the hike was called.
We'll put it in the video. I'll put some photographs.
Yeah.
I
We went to a waterfall, but we were really disappointed in the waterfall. We got
It
up
was a
there.
trickle. It was a trickle.
It was like a little trickle. But we got, I came back. I got all dolled up. We went out in the town. We went to a couple bars and breweries and restaurant. We went to an Irish bar.
So we had a good time. Then we moved to another KOA just for 2 nights, Fort Collins North. Disaster. We get to Fort Collins North to find that the windshield of our car, our tow car, was completely smashed. We had it repaired, so cut that long story short. But what we did was we put a lock on the steering wheel thinking it would help with the dolly. But what happened was the lock actually smashed, went through the windshield.
Right.
So anyway, lesson learned, and note to other people: don't put on a steering wheel lock when you have a tow dolly. When you have your car on a tow dolly, it's not designed for a moving car. So anyway, we had the windshield smashed, and not only that, the site they gave us we couldn't level. I'll show a photograph.
He spent like 3 hours out there
trying to level it.
And finally we said, do you have any other sites? They said no. But we did have a stunning view of the Rockies. We had a beautiful site.
We had
they gave us our money back.
Yeah, we had to stay one night, but we couldn't take the slides out. We kept the slides in. The ground was so soft, our jacks were sinking 6 inches into the ground, and I tried wood blocks. I tried. We have blocks now, actual wheel blocks and such. All that stuff just sank into the ground. So anyway, we told them we can't stay. So between the smashed windshield and having to cut the stay short, we didn't make it to the Rocky Mountain.
We didn't make it to the
National
Rock,
Park.
but I feel like we drove through we did drive through the Rockies. I mean, remember we put on John Denver, what's that song?
Rocky Mountain High.
Rocky Mountain High, we're driving through the Rockies, and it was just beautiful, but we never actually got to
So we're going to buy the fridge magnet.
I know.
And lie.
And lie and say we actually never got into the...
But we've decided we're going to do it.
Yeah, we'll have to go back.
We'll have to go back and do it. But that was near, the entry is near Denver. For people that don't know where Fort Collins is, it's just north of Denver.
Yeah.
So we were on the east side. We've been on the west side of the Rockies.
But we did get to see Colorado. Like, it's stunning, you guys. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, at least in summer.
And we figured out that you can sleep one night with our slides in. We slept in our bed. We got to our refrigerator. Anyway, okay. So then... let's see.
From Colorado, we went to Wyoming.
Rock Springs.
We went to we went to Rock Springs, Wyoming, which was really just a travel stop.
It is. There's nothing there except there was a canyon we didn't visit because our windshield.
No. But what about the rig? We get 1 mile from KOA in Rock Springs. We get a red light, engine light, stop engine. So we drove the 1 mile to the camp. And then I did some Googling, found there was a dealer, Freightliner. Freightliner does the Cummins engine and the chassis stuff. Found a Freightliner dealer that was only 4 miles away. So we spent 3 days going back and forth to have the engine fixed. So what they said was it was the crankcase ventilator, CCV, and both fuel filters needed to be replaced. So they did that over a series of 3 days, and then we left there, and that was otherwise we were doing nothing except going back and forth to the Freightliner dealer. And then we went to
Income, Idaho.
And
again, the scenery was over the top gorgeous. Eastern Idaho is breathtaking, beautiful, and we stayed in this mountainous, I don't know.
It's kind of like Scotland. My sister saw the video. I was FaceTiming with my sister, and she says, "Oh, it looks like Scotland." It kind of does. It's very Latter-day Saints, heavily Mormon community there. We stayed at a Harvest Host farm and hive, and they
had a field. They let us stay, and we were the only ones there. And we found out that we can boondock 2 days. We have enough water.
2 nights.
2 nights. And so we were there like 2 nights, and a beautiful family. They had a store. We bought organic
Eggs.
milk, eggs.
Never
We
had,
spent
never,
like
never drank raw milk in my life.
oh,
So we drank raw milk
and we got some to go. Like we got first a half gallon,
and then a gallon.
and then we're making hamburgers tonight with some of the, organic meat.
We
that
bought,
we
we
got.
bought organic. So they didn't charge. They didn't charge a fee, but we spent about $100 on goods, which is about the expectation with Harvest Host is you spend $40 to $50 per night if you're not paying for a fee. So we spent about $100
And then we met a
goods.
fellow Scotsman.
Oh, met a Scotsman there, Alistair from the Highlands. Actually, he's in one of the islands. An LDS dude.
Yeah.
Out at Hebrides.
Yeah, he had us at his house, but
we went to visit him and had a glass of lemonade or whatever with him, and I did actually send him a note, but never heard from him again. So he probably thought we don't like these people.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was nice to see him. He as a gift, he brought me a can of Iron Brew, which the Scots amongst us will know what Iron Brew is. It's Scotland's other national drink. So that was very nice of him. So income, beautiful scenery. We want to go back there. We passed through hot springs, lava hot springs.
Yeah, Idaho has hot springs that are free. You could go sit in them. And we passed a town. I go, Stuart, we got to come back here if we ever go through our travels back again.
Yeah, I think it was called Lava Hot Springs, and then there was
Yeah,
another
Lava
town called
Hot
Soap Springs. That area looks beautiful for a holiday. It looks like there'd be some great fishing there.
Yeah.
A resort type area, and we were passing through, so we didn't have a chance to experience any of that.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, so we left that place and we headed into Boise because my son Jacob and his family live in Boise. So again, no yellow light. We're like, oh, and the rig was way better, right? As far as power. You had way more power
After
in
they
the
fixed
rig.
it.
After they fixed
I
it.
could tell a difference in the rig. But
And-
what about the Evel Knievel jump site?
Oh.
Does anybody remember Evel Knievel? Evel Knievel was a stuntman back in the 70s.
70s, yeah.
And his last jump was he tried to jump the Snake River Canyon in some kind of rocket thing. He didn't die, but the attempt failed. But anyway, we had Evel. I said to Lisa, we're driving the damn rig to see Evel Knievel's jump site. Well, it takes us down this small, tiny road, and there's signs saying no turnaround for trucks, and I'm saying to Lisa, well, we're not a truck. Anyway, we come to this dead end where it was a new community, a gated community. So
And luckily there was a field there. Otherwise we wouldn't have been able to turn around the rig.
there was
rocks, and I had to move the rocks so Stuart could turn the rig
they had
around.
big rocks stopping people from getting into this grassy area. It was like a grassy area.
Yeah.
But Lisa got out and moved a couple of these big boulders so that we could do a U-turn and turn around. But we did cross the Snake River Canyon, which is
Beautiful.
spectacular. Lisa took a couple of photographs from the rig, so you've got the windows and the bug smash and stuff, but I'll try and patch a few of those in. Very spectacular.
Yeah.
But anyway, do not go to Evel Knievel jump site in Twin Falls, Idaho, because you can't get to it.
And that was his last, he failed that, but it was his last
That was his
stunt.
last stunt.
Yeah, it was his last stunt. And I think it is there somewhere. Our GPS just didn't take
And we met back in Washington. We met Evel Knievel's niece or second cousin, twice removed. Her name was
Anyway, let's get
Carrie
on with it.
Knievel. So there was a connection there to Washington. But anyway, that was a bummer.
Yeah.
And then we went to Caldwell to visit your son. We stayed in Caldwell.
We changed plans. We had a plan.
Terryland.
Oh gosh, we had like 4 or 5 nights at this place called Terryland. And we backed out of it because you didn't hear from him. We Googled Earth, the location, and it looked like a
It was near a water treatment plant,
and
I'd booked 5 nights because they said they said 50 amp
it looked
power.
like a scam.
But when I did the research a couple of days before we got there, I was saying to Lisa, this place is worrying me. I haven't heard anything from them, and they offered no water and no sewage.
Yeah.
And so
And
I
we
said to
just
Lisa,
came
we
from
can't stay.
boondocking
Yeah, we
for
can't
2
stay.
nights, so we
Yeah.
needed a full hookup to take a shower and
Right,
fill
our
up
tanks were full, and we could not go on 5 nights without sewage and water.
Yeah.
So we we skipped that, and I got us I'm looking at my list here, that's what I'm looking down. We stayed at Abundant Life RV Park in Caldwell, Idaho, which is about 20 minutes from Boise. And we stayed there.
And we really didn't do anything there. And again, that's just
that
like
was
a
because
stop.
That was because we were visiting Jacob, Lisa's son.
Yeah, so we had dinner with my son, and then the next day I had lunch with them and saw my grandkids.
Yeah,
so that was neat.
We saw them, and then we had the windshield fixed.
Oh yeah.
The windshield
you
of
got
the car
the windshield
was
fixed. And then from there, we headed into Washington, and of all the
via
drive,
Oregon. We came through from Idaho, through Oregon, eastern Oregon, and then into Washington.
And I want to tell you, we went through Colorado, which was stunning. But this scenery from Boise to Washington State was some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen. We were just in awe. And Stuart and I looked at each other, go, this is what we signed up for. This lifestyle, that we can just get in a rig. When you slid into Class A, it is just this panoramic view. We have windows on Stuart's side, the front, and this huge, and we're sitting up and we're seeing this scenery. And again, we passed area and we're like, we have to come back here. It was so beautiful. We did not know we were actually going to go into Oregon, eastern Oregon. We thought we were going to go from Idaho right into Washington, but it was so gorgeous. And then we finally got into Washington, and we went through Walla Walla, and the scenery just changed to this patchwork with the mountains in the background, like a quilt of wheat fields. And again, it was so beautiful. And so now we're here at Lyons Ferry, which is kind of a boat launch.
It says it's a holiday KOA, which means that people come here for holidays. For us, there's not a lot here. If you have a boat, perfect, because I don't know if you can see behind us, we're trying to show the Snake River behind us. Big area, lots of people with boats here, but for us, not a lot. And then yesterday we went into
the Palouse Falls.
We went to the Palouse Falls.
Which is 5 minutes from here.
I put a slide already on the YouTube channel. I put a slideshow from the photographs we took at the Palouse Falls. And,
stunning. We got up early in the morning. There's not many people there. But I have a fear of heights, so I couldn't go to some of those spots Stuart took some photos from. And they even have signs. Don't get too close to the edge. People have died. People have died. And then we went back into Walla Walla, which is an hour just to do they have 120 wineries. And I was there 15 years ago.
140.
Yeah, 140 when the wine tasting was free back 15 years ago. And we didn't have the best time just because we didn't have enough time. And the wineries my kids recommended to go see, one was closed, and then we went to this, but we still had a great time.
We weren't wowed by the wines that we tasted.
Like in Chelan, and we weren't wowed by the wines, which we spent a lot of money on wine.
And we didn't have time to visit more than a couple because, plus it was an hour drive.
It was an hour drive. We didn't want to drink and drive.
From here to the wineries, it was about an hour, so it was an hour each way. So we didn't drink much.
But it's award-winning wines, and I know what that region's wine tastes like because I drink in their wine. But we didn't get that experience, which is sad. But we still had a great day, and I think. So anyway, we're headed
to Quincy.
And that's kind of our first 1,000 trails. Besides Gunnison.
Since we left Gunnison, it's the first one.
And so we're going to be in the 1,000 Trail system from here on out, except I think we have
4 days in Gig Harbor. So
we'll 4 days in Gig Harbor.
So we're going to be Quincy, then Leavenworth, then Birch Bay, but we'll get to that.
But I'm so happy to be here in Washington. I lived here 44 years, and like I said on one of my pages, Facebook or whatever, it's just diversity of landscapes. I mean, here we are in this beautiful canyon area, and then you can go to the rainforest, and it's got the ocean, and it's got the Puget Sound, and 4 volcanoes, and 2 mountain ranges. There's just so much outdoor stuff to do, so I'm so happy to be here. I know, I love Washington. It's like my home, And so we'll be in Washington 2 months, so hey, take care. Yeah, it was probably long, but
we got a new subscriber, so we're up to 46 now.
Oh, are we? Who was that?
I don't know.
Maybe the guy we saw on the hike yesterday.
Maybe. And but we, I've got 220 Facebook friends.
I know.
And 46 subscribers.
And then our views are going down too.
Yeah.
But we're kind of doing this for us,
Yes, we are.
right? So we can look back
And I'm
on
going
our
to put some
journeys.
photographs in, maybe make things a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so
But anyway, we hope to see you on our travels. You know,
All right.
Send us a.
Quincy,
Yeah,
Washington.
we'll be in Quincy 3 weeks. So, bye-bye.
Bye.